Hello and welcome to this video. So in this video, we'll be talking about why people tend to explain their, the plot point or the plot or the character, how the character is thinking through dialogue again and again. So basically, generally, this is seen with writers who are newbies, right? So where they want to, kind of explain something to the audience, but they are reluctant that whether the audience has or the reader has understood or not what he or she is trying to explain. So in that case, what they will do is that they will write more lines. Okay, they will write more lines to explain what they are trying to explain. Kind of like more than twice or thrice will happen. Okay, so I've said something. I will write like every video. I'll be writing, taking an expert from a particular book or a movie, and then explain the problem statement and give you the solution. Okay, so I'll share my screen, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so let me share my screen first, then you can talk. Okay. Okay. You see, so don't repeat yourself. Now, this expert I've taken from, I'll just write here the movie name, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Stone. Okay. So in the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, there is a scene where Harry with his uncle, aunt, and cousin, they move to a place where it's an island. I think it's a lighthouse, where the letters won't receive. I mean, the letters won't enter into their house because they've been trying. I mean, Dumbledore. I mean, the from the school Hogwarts, Harry Potter was kind of receiving a lot of letters because of the for the joining and everything. But his uncle was reluctant to help the the letter to reach Harry. So he tried every other method to stop it, but it was not getting stopped. So they moved to a kind of a secluded place in between the sea, where it was a lighthouse, and they were kind of there to avoid this situation. Okay, now Hagrid comes, and because it was Harry's birthday, so Hagrid comes and tries to explain him that he is a wizard, and people are, I mean, Dumbledore is expecting him to join the school, and this is the joining date and everything, all the. But Harry was kind of not, able to comprehend that he is a wizard. So Hagrid is trying to explain that he is a wizard because of certain things, and he has an invitation from Hogwarts, and he has to join the other people, other kids of his class, and then so he has to study. But so when if a newbie writer would have been writing this scene, they would have explained this that Harry, I mean Hagrid would have taken more lines to explain this, that okay, to convince Harry that you are a wizard. Now Harry is not in a convincing state right now, but the writer has to explain the audience that he's working hard so that Hagrid convinces Harry that he's a wizard, but with minimal words. How will you do minimum lines of sentences? How will you do, right? So I written how a newbie would have written this. So you are a wizard, Harry, Hagrid said. Harry looked suspicious. I can't be a wizard. I mean, I don't have anything special about me. These are not the exact words. Okay, so I just made it up by remembering this scene. Okay, not the book, the scene. Well, has certain events happened to you that you could never explain? Why? I talked to the snake at the zoo, but that happened only once. Okay, so then this is very narrow. I mean, very less lines I've written, so this is good. These three lines are good. Okay, but here if you see, the writer is trying to explain the reader that why Hagrid is kind of how he can explain how Hagrid can convince Harry that that he's a wizard. Okay, now that can be done in a couple of sentences. That can be done in a paragraph. That can be done in a complete chapter, right? But how will you minimize it so that the reader is also convinced, and here in this case Harry is also convinced, right? So this is a trick. Now you see he is explaining this again and again. Hagrid is explaining this again and again to Harry, that to convince Harry that he's a wizard. Now I talked to, so this is not the exact lines that here the writer has written. I just made it up. That's wizard stuff. You look, Harry, you don't have to you have to do. You have to swing things in the air without help or raise a fire out of water to be wizard. You did not swim in the air nor climb a tree with your bare hands. You are a wizard because your parents were wizard. Now, these four lines, so he's already said, he has already asked if there is something suspicious you have done that you couldn't explain. Then he said that he has talked to a snake because they went to the zoo and he talked to the snake, and the snake came out of the zoo, and his cousin was left inside the zoo, right? So this event itself explains, this line is itself explains that Harry is a wizard. But then the writer writes this line to explain more, right? So this you can avoid. Now, how it can be made more crispy, that how you will you stop repeating the same thing that we have said earlier. How to do it is to practice, obviously, and then just keep away from the particular chapter or book that you are writing for a few weeks, and then when you go through it again, read it again loudly, then you will know that okay, you have repeated this, and then you can remove it. So basically, every scene, so basically the scripts in Hollywood or in any film industry, if you are making a 2 hours story, that means 1 minute is one chapter, not chapter. I think I can to 120 minutes means 120 scenes are there. So 120 scenes means maybe if you consider one scene as a chapter is 120 chapters. It's kind of that stuff. Okay, which means that you have to limit. You don't have to explain yours, because in dialogue you can't explain. You have to. It should be crisp and to the point, right? Because yeah, that is how actors do. They don't repeat themselves. So you have to consider that in mind. Now, let's write this particular scene in a very crisp manner. So I think we are having around maybe 15 lines or maybe 10 lines. We have to do it in very minimal lines. Okay, so how to do it? Now I am writing it and I will not repeat myself. Okay. So I have created something new, something better. I mean, this is not the original one. Okay, I just made it up here. Uh, and here there is no explanation. I'm not repeating myself to prove again and again that I took a only one event reference, that is the event with the snake in the zoo, and then you know, and that I used that bit only to explain the audience that okay, Hagrid is trying to explain it. So not like here, like three, four different things he said, but he took here only the snake in the Jew bit to explain that he is a wizard. Okay, so this is how you have to read it multiple times, then only you will come to know that if you repeat it or not. So that is the trick. Yeah. So that's about this particular video of don't repeat yourself. So this we took of a certain plot point. Oh, we can do the same thing about characters. I'll be getting a lot of more videos on the same topic. Don't repeat yourself. So please look out for the next video. Okay. Hope you like this video, and please share with your family and friends and use it in your work. Yeah, and I'm coming with a course also that will be available in Udemy. So on writing. On non-fiction writing, basically particularly novel, and I'll take a genre-based approach also. So hope you buy that also. Thank you very much. I will stop sharing and I will stop recording.